Okay, Coach, on a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Houston Texans. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now Rodgers. Got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. At their own 15-yard line.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll start on the ground with Harris. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
The first carry now. This is Johnson. And to the 36-yard line. Taken down there after getting 8 yards. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
On 2nd down, it's Harris. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
This is it. 18.
Rip right. Check 4.
Undercoach.
And prior to this 3rd and 2 play, we're going to get a timeout called. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
We're set. 19. 54. Hey, Mike's 42. Mike's 42. Let's go.
3rd and 2. Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 40.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that.
Like that?
Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, grab that dagger play, grab that play and just finish him off right now, because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
They'll wind up getting 4 down to the 36.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in this paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone?
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 25 yards that time.
For the set. 19. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Now that sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to second down. Now from the 7, here's second and goal. Watson now to throw. Flushed out right. He's going to take off with it. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation.
It's now third and goal.
We're scoreless after 1. From the 3-yard line once more. Now here's third and goal. They'll try and run with Harris. And he fights his way into the end zone for a Texans touchdown. A great play there. His 6th touchdown of the season as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Able to punch it in on third down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a fourth down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
First and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. J.J. Watt in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Here's Elliott. And they work this well upfield across the 45. It's a gain of 35.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
The big play has him all the way out near midfield for a first and 10. Now it's Rodgers. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Vernon Hargraves with a pick. And he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
They run on first down as they get about 3. Second and 7 forthcoming. Preston Smith there on the stop.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A give to Harris. And an alley to run. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. A great effort there with his second touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. From the 27, Rodgers. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. This will be fielded at the 17. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
He takes this for 3 to the 29.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
Watch a slant, watch a slant, watch a slant.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson going deep for Hopkins. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. Here's Williams to return. A great return there of 22 yards. And it'll be Packer football here. 1st down and 10. A 2nd quarter score from KC. An early lead in that game for the Falcons. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. Yikes, a 4-yard loss really sets them back now for 2nd down. First play of the drive, lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. And an alley to run. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. I was pretty surprised there when they lined up to run it on 2nd and long, but it worked out for them.
It certainly did, and that requires some confidence, some fortitude, and a little bit of hope, doesn't it? You hope you catch the defense just right and break off a big run to help yourself out on the next down.
Steps away to his left. And this is going to be incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down.
88.
Rodgers going to go on 4th down. They'll get this complete to the Notre Dame man, Equinemius St. Brown. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And this Texans defense stands tall. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And now the clock reads precisely 1 minute to go in the half. You want to run the 1 minute offense? This is a good test right here.
It certainly is, and definitely not a time to think about kneeling and going into the half. This is a chance to attack a little bit, but not having to get everything in one shot either. 10 yards here, 15 there. Work the sidelines, work the clock. Give yourself a chance for at least a field goal going into the half.
Off of play action, it's Watson. He'll buy some time right. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Check to the board. Alert. Catch it. Let's go.
On 2nd down now. It's Johnson, and he'll go down at the 28. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
42 the mark, boy. 42 the mark.
Now we'll play fake, and it's Watson. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Preston Smith comes in for the sack. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. This will be from 56 yards out. And this won't get there. Won't be on line either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
A final shot before half for Rodgers. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
All day, dog.
From the gun, a run for Johnson. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
This is it. 18. 24. Hey, 4 down. 4 down. Mike 42, Mike 42. Hey, pick your game up. Let's go.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Watson. He finds his man Johnson. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Good set. 19. You ain't going nowhere. Right. He's tight right here. He's tight on the right. Tight on the right. I can score. 3 down. Hey, Mike's 42. Mike's 42. What's up? The run. Mike 42. Mike 42. Let's go, D. Big Sears right
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Delay of game penalty. Ships him back 5 yards, makes it 3rd and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. He finds Hopkins complete. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 37. So into Packer territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Back to throw, Watson. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 27, and he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or 2 shy of midfield.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
So good field position for the Packers as they come up 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. First down run with Elliott going to go for about 4. 2nd and 6 coming up. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
4 yards on the pickup.
Over.
At the Texans' 47-yard line.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 16 and a first down for the green and gold.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try to change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off. Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
On 2nd down, Elliott. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Ezekiel Elliott. His 4th touchdown on the year as his guys are back within a single score. Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll make our score 14-7. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here's Harris. That 2nd down play nets a -4.
That's just running the ball 101 because too much east-west, not enough north-south. Got to get upfield, don't you?
They just kept stringing him out before he knew it. He'd hit the sideline.
42 is the mic. 29.
To throw on third down. Watson. He's going to fire one deep. He's got him in. Complete. A gain of 26 on the third down conversion.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, third down, spectacular catch, turns into a first down.
First down saves him from a 3-and-out. Watson now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
No. Whip. Check 99.
They'll run with Harris. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Tight ends on Ringo. Hey. You got 3.
Watson on third down. This is Johnson. He's got it. A pickup of 11 and a Texans first down. Well, probably the only thing he did wrong there was go out of bounds, nursing this fourth quarter lead. You want to stay in, eat the clock.
Yeah, you got to love the effort, the catch, the extra yardage, but you got to know the situation. Stay in bounds, young man.
Watch safety 54. Safety 59.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? There wasn't the line that jumped that time, the second level.
No, that's a great observation because most of the time it's those guys up front so eager to get off on the snap. They do it, but in this case, you're exactly right. Second level, probably because they moved up to the first level, and that hurts them.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. On the ground, it's Harris. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I think there's a fatigue factor that's kicking in defensively. You know the will is still strong, but I think the offense is starting to bend it just a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looked that way. We'll see if they can continue this already strong drive. They're able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worrying about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him on that one.
Normally, you don't want your guy taking shots, your quarterback, but it's winning time here in the fourth quarter. If he needs to make those plays with the legs, go ahead, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. At this stage of the game, all protections, they're off.
A loss of 2 there, second down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal.
Cut. Check 36. Under 10.
Running from the gun, Johnson. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards.
It's 3rd down and goal to go.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
Hey, let's get this. Mike 42, check, Mike 42. Hey, watch the slant.
Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They need to reverse the trend. The last two plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal.
42. We ain't giving up nothing. 42's the mark. 42's the mark. Oh, here we go. Oh. Hey, Mike's 42.
Out of the gun, Watson. Escaping the pressure. And it's a touchdown. Deshaun Watson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front.
That's a tough one there defensively because look at the stops they got on 1st and 2nd down, and it's 1st and 2nd and goal. And then on 3rd down, they cover the receivers, but they leave an alley open for him to find, and he does. That is frustrating. You do almost everything right, and he still ends up in the end zone.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed, what you were looking for.
Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Now the pass, and it's into the arms of Hopkins. And he takes it down deep into Green Bay territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Harris. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain, followed by a sizable loss here. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Harris. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. And quickly we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Here's Watson. Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes. That's Daron Payne with a sack that time.
Well, this is what happens when you get behind the chains, as people like to say. When you have obvious passing situations, hard to vary it up and fool a defense.
And you hate those situations if you're an O-lineman, right?
Oh, without a doubt, because you just know they're coming, and you never know exactly how. They can be exotic in their blitzes, or their athletic ability just takes over.
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down here.
And Rodgers intercepted a 3rd time. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
54, right there, 54 miles.
On 1st down, Harris. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. They'll run again with Harris, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. On third down, Johnson. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. They do get 12, but they'll be marked short. And that leads to a fourth down. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And they were spurred on by a strong performance in that fourth quarter as they held their opponents off the scoreboard.
Everyone wants to pitch a shutout for the entire game, but when you throw one in the fourth quarter, that tells everyone that you're getting stronger and dominance is starting to take over, right? The way that you close, the way that you finish, that gets preached to you from the time you're playing Little League football all the way up through. And they closed them out with a big-time performance down the stretch.
So for Houston, their strong start to the year continues as they're up to 5-1. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.